Former Ring of Honor rivals Nigel McGuinness and Bryan Danielson will have a match for the first time in 15 years at the upcoming AEW Dynamite Grand Slam special. We'll let you know all the details on that. Plus, Jon Moxley will face off against Darby Allin, with Darby Allin's future AEW World Championship opportunity on the line. According to a new report, the deal between Warner Bros. Discovery and AEW is done, and it will include pay-per-views. Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher win the Casino Tag Team Gauntlet match to challenge for the AEW World Tag Team Championships at AEW Dynamite Grand Slam. Jack Perry retains the TNT Championship. We have the ratings for Tuesday's edition of WWE NXT, and also a big update when it comes to WWE further reducing live events moving forward. Orange Cassidy pays Chris Jericho back and dumping $7,000 in pennies onto his Bentley last night. Hook challenges Roderick Strong. Nikki Garcia files for divorce following her husband's recent arrest, and Matt Riddle says the chances of him returning to WWE are extremely high. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with the big news coming out of last night's AEW Dynamite, which is that Grand Slam. The plans for that show have seemingly been turned on their head. First beginning with Bryan Danielson, the AEW World Champion, who's kind of at the center of all of this. Now, number one contender to the AEW World Championship, Darby Allin, will have his hands full at AEW Dynamite Grand Slam. He's going to be putting his title on the line against Jon Moxley. We'll get to that in just a second. But this means that AEW World Champion Bryan Danielson is free to face anyone at the September event, and a ghost from his past has stepped up to the plate. Former Ring of Honor World Champion Nigel McGuinness appeared on Wednesday's Dynamite to challenge his old rival to a match at AEW Grand Slam on September 25th in Queens, New York's Arthur Ashe Stadium. According to McGuinness, AEW President Tony Khan sanctioned the match and drew up a contract. The match was confirmed later in the show. Danielson is still recovering, of course, from being attacked by his former Blackpool Combat Club comrades Jon Moxley, Pac, and Claudio Castagnoli. Moxley asphyxiated the AEW World Champion with a plastic bag in the brutal attack, the beginning of the group's insistence that they run AEW now. As far as McGuinness, he made his triumphant return to in-ring competition at AEW All In on August 25th at Wembley Stadium in London, here in the UK, during the Casino Gauntlet match. It was McGuinness's first match since 2011. Now, you may be wondering, but what's going on then when it comes to Bryan Danielson defending the World Championship against Darby Allin? I thought that was going to be the main event of Dynamite Grand Slam. Well, not so fast, because Jon Moxley's involved in all of this too. Now, we saw, of course, at AEW All Out, Moxley and the Blackpool Combat Club, minus Wheeler Yuta, turn on Bryan Danielson, and after a shocking scene at All Out that saw Moxley turn heel on Danielson, Moxley opened up Dynamite to explain his actions. Moxley and the rest of the BCC went to the ring to celebrate with Danielson following his victory at the pay-per-view, and held back Casino Gauntlet contract holder Christian Cage from cashing in for a match at the world title. After embracing Danielson, however, Moxley beat down his former friend and attempted to suffocate him by putting a plastic bag over his head, leading to the champion having to be taken out of the arena. In his explanation for his actions, Moxley said that he didn't enjoy what he had to do, but it needed to be done. He said he would love nothing more than to have Danielson by his side, but Danielson doesn't have the stomach for this. Moxley explained that over 2 years ago, they made a commitment to build something real that would last for years, even after they were gone, referencing the BCC. He said they didn't do it for money or recognition, but because it was something worth doing. But he said they didn't achieve what they set out to do. Quote, "We didn't do it, Mr. Patience, Mr. Empathy, the greatest man I ever know," Moxley said. "I look around and all I see is egos out of control everywhere I look. It permeates AEW, it's crawling with egos out of control, and I can't take it anymore." Now, Moxley referenced William Regal creating the BCC and said, not naming Regal outright, Bryan was his lordship's favourite. Moxley went on to say he's no villain. Quote, "I am the one true king of these lands. We tried your way, Bryan. Diplomacy has failed. Today, I choose war," Moxley said. Now, shortly after the opening video segment showing Moxley's mission statement following the all-out attack, Private Party Commander and Alex Abrahantes made their way down to the ring for a match, but were blindsided by Moxley, Castagnoli, Marina Shafir, and Pac. The bastard got on the microphone in the ring to vent his own frustrations. Pac said that AEW is broken and what happened at All Out was inevitable, and called the new stable inevitable as well. He said he now has something to believe in and a purpose. Diplomacy has failed, ladies and gentlemen. This company is ours, he said, reiterating what Moxley had initially stated. Absent from the group was the third member of the AEW World Trios Champions, alongside Pac and Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta. As I mentioned, Yuta was held back by Pac and was seen weeping during Moxley's heel turn and use of the plastic bag around Danielson's face. In the video that opened Wednesday's show, Yuta was seen by Danielson's side as he was taken out of the arena following the attack. Now, this led to Moxley facing off against Darby Allin at Dynamite Grand Slam. In a huge change of plans, Darby Allin will not challenge for Bryan Danielson's AEW World Championship at AEW Dynamite Grand Slam later this month. Darby had earned the world title opportunity at Arthur Ashe Stadium event back in July, winning the Royal Rampage match on AEW Rampage just days after he had secured his All-In TNT title match inside Blood and Guts. He challenged unsuccessfully for Jack Perry's title on August 25th at Wembley Stadium, returning for the first time during Wednesday's Dynamite to confront Jon Moxley, fresh off his betrayal of Danielson All Out last weekend. Moxley said that due to his and the Blackpool Combat Club's actions, Danielson will be unable to defend his title later this month. However, he went on to say that it was a good thing since Darby Allin wasn't prepared to take the next step yet, and he would do better and be better off by handing the title shot to someone who was Moxley himself. Darby Allin declined the notion, in deploring Moxley's actions against his former partner and declaring he would have nothing to do with someone like that. He said that the purveyor of violence will have to earn the opportunity and challenge Moxley to a match at Grand Slam, setting the stage for a rematch of their July 2020 bout, this time with Darby Allin's guaranteed title shot on the line. Now, obviously, so many people are still talking about the impending media rights deal between AEW and Warner Bros. Discovery, and reportedly the deal is done. A new media rights arrangement between All Elite Wrestling and Warner Bros. Discovery is considered, quote, a done deal, and will include pay-per-views on Max in some form. This is according to Dave Meltzer, who reported on Wrestling Observer Radio, quote, the WBD deal is a done deal, and there are going to be changes. From what I gather, there is going to be a pay-per-view component in this deal. Exactly what that is, I don't know. There is going to be a deal with Max with the pay-per-views in some form is what it looks like. Now, of course, AEW and WBD have been in talks for several months over a new media rights deal in the United States. The offer on the table is believed to be at least double the value of AEW's current deal, that is estimated to be around $70 million per year. The new deal between AEW and Warner Bros. Discovery reportedly won't be exclusive, however, with rumors in recent days suggesting that AEW are in talks with Fox over a new one-hour show named Shockwave that will air on FS1. Now, how exactly AEW pay-per-views on Max will work is unknown. WWE pay-per-views air on Peacock, and the shows are included at no extra cost to the price of subscribing to the streaming service. Now, going back to Dynamite last night, Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher are the new number one contenders for the World Tag Team Championships. Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher will take on the Young Bucks for the AEW World Tag Team Championships at AEW Grand Slam after defeating 8 other teams in a casino gauntlet match on AEW Dynamite. The first ever tag team gauntlet match was competed under sudden death rules, tornado tag style. Fletcher and Ospreay started off the match against FTR. FTR tried to capitalize quickly on Ospreay, but he kicked out. The next team out were Vincent and Dutch of the Righteous, who went right after Cash Wheeler. The Undisputed Kingdom's Matt Taven and Mike Bennett followed. The Acclaim came out next and started drawing with Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, who were watching the match on the stage. MXM made an appearance on Dynamite as the next team to enter the match. Mace and Mansoor got in the ring and squared up against the Acclaim, but were taken out from behind by the Undisputed Kingdom. Top Flight came out after, bringing the total number of men in the ring to 14. FTR hit a shatter machine and went for the pin, but the rest of the competitors dogpiled inside of the ring, breaking it up. The Outrunners came in next and wreaked havoc, taking out the Righteous on the outside by going over the top rope. The Grizzled Young Veterans music hit next, and FTR ran up the ramp to battle with them on the stage. Back ringside, the Outrunners suplexed Mansoor from the ropes to the rest of the field on the outside. They hit a double team move on Mansoor in the ring, but Vincent broke up the pin. Dante Martin almost pinned Fletcher and went up top to try again, again, but Fletcher got his knees up. Fletcher hit a big move on Martin, and Ospreay kept Darius Martin down out of the ring to allow Fletcher to get the victory. So they're going to be facing off against the Young Bucks at Arthur Ashe Stadium. Now, Jack Perry is still the AEW TNT champion after retaining his title last night. The scapegoat will remain the face of TNT for now after besting a junior heavyweight veteran. On Wednesday's AEW Dynamite, Jack Perry defeated former NXT Cruiserweight champion Lio Rush to retain his TNT title. Perry and Rush kept up a frantic pace, but Perry was able to get the better of Rush with a bruising knee to the face. After the match, Perry was asked about how he was bouncing back from his loss to AEW World Champion Bryan Danielson at All Out last weekend. Quote, "People like me are crucified in this life so we can be worshipped in the next," Perry said cryptically before boarding his trademark bus. Perry has been AEW TNT champion since Forbidden Door, when Perry won a multi-man ladder match thanks to help from the Young Bucks to win the title. He has since been a central figure of the Bucks' new elite faction, which also includes AEW Continental Champion Kazuchika Okada. Now let's talk about the ratings for Tuesday's episode of WWE NXT. NXT is on the road to Chicago, and a stacked card on Tuesday brought the 18 to 49 demographic back to the program. According to PW Torch and WrestleNomics, NXT lost a small amount of the overall viewership, with 628,000 viewers tuning in compared to last week's 631,000, but did see a 12% jump in the 18 to 49 demographic. The show scored a 0.19 in the ratings compared to last week's 0.17. The show featured 3 title matches and was one of the final few episodes of NXT on USA Network, as the show is set to debut on the CW on October 1st. As it stands, the show's average viewership for September is down 16% compared to last year, while the 18 to 49 demographic for that period is down 14% compared to last year too. The highest rated segment of the night was former New Japan Strong Women's Champion Julia's debut against Chelsea Green. The lowest rated segment of the night was the opening half of the show's main event, which saw Trick Williams earn a shot at NXT champion Ethan Page by outlasting Pete Dunne in a last man standing match. Williams will face Page when NXT debuts on the CW on October 1st in Chicago. The show also featured TNA Knockouts Championship Open Challenge match, which saw Jordan Grace defend against Sol Ruka, ruined by Wendy Chu and TNA's Rosemary. The show also featured an NXT Tag Team Championship match, which was interrupted by an invasion of the Bloodline. Now, obviously, again, NXT and WWE were very happy with these numbers, considering that NXT was head-to-head against the US presidential debate that was simulcast widely across broadcast and cable news networks. More than 67 million viewers watched the debate, according to Programming Insider. Therefore, WWE and NXT will be very happy that their 18 to 49 number still managed to rise by 12%, and essentially the total viewership was flat from last week. Now, let's talk about live events here, because there's been a bit of a change, or an upcoming change anyway, to how WWE is going to schedule their live events moving forward. Now, obviously, there's been a major update on WWE potentially scaling back even further in 2025 after beginning scaling back in 2024. It was recently noted that WWE is only hosting a handful more live events for the remainder of this year, leading to a lot of fans speculating about the future of WWE's untelevised events. Speaking at the Goldman Sachs Communicopa and Technology Conference, TKO President Mark Shapiro noted that the company is looking to only host around 200 live events for the year 2025, down from around 250 they did this year. He said, quote, "We're cutting events at WWE. We're taking our low margin, marginally profitable events, untelevised events that Vince put in place to grow the brand right. We're taking the show on the road. We've got to go to every city we can get to grow the WWE brand. Well, the WWE brand, while we still have to grow it, it's on fire right now. We don't need to carry these marginally profitable events." Andrew Schleimer, our CFO, and Nick Khan at WWE have been hands-on involved with cutting back those events, trimming those events. What was 300 events last year will be roughly 250 this year, and next year will be close to 200. So it does look like they are gradually scaling back further and further. Now, going back to Dynamite last night, Orange Cassidy did finally pay Chris Jericho back, but maybe not in the way the Learning Tree thought. On the September 11th edition of AEW Dynamite, the Learning Tree, that being Chris Jericho, Brian Keith, and Big Bill, defeated the Iron Savages. After the match, Chris Jericho called out Orange Cassidy once again, demanding that he pay back the $7,000 that he owes him. Backstage, Cassidy said that he has Jericho's money. The camera cut to Kyle O'Reilly and Mark Briscoe driving a tractor with $7,000 in pennies. Briscoe ended up lowering all of the pennies into a Bentley that Chris Jericho and the Learning Tree had arrived in. Cassidy threw in an extra $1 to make sure Jericho was getting all of his money back. This then led to the announcement we are going to be getting a match between the two next week. The match will feature Orange Cassidy taking on Chris Jericho in singles action. This match comes after weeks of back and forth between Cassidy and Jericho. This will be the first singles match between the two since All Out back in 2020. Now, Hook, the FTW champion, has challenged Roderick Strong. Hook issued a challenge to Strong on last night's episode of Dynamite. Hook said he respected Roderick Strong, but that respect went down when Roderick, Matt Taven, and Mike Bennett jumped him after a match and then cried about Roderick's foot being under the ropes. Hook challenged Roderick to face him. Of course, this is all going back to an 8-man tag team match on a recent episode of Dynamite where Hook submitted Strong, but Strong's foot was under the ropes. Nikki Garcia, she has filed for divorce from her husband Artem Chigvenstev on Wednesday, a report from TMZ has revealed. Garcia's divorce filing comes almost 2 weeks after Chigvenstev was arrested on August 29th on felony charges of corporal injury to spouse or cohabitant. The Dancing with the Stars dancer was arrested at the scene of his and Garcia's home in California after an injury was visible on the alleged victim. Chigvenstev initially called 911 for medical assistance for the victim at 8:30 a.m., but then cancelled the request. Police still showed up at the house, however, and Chigvenstev was arrested at 10 a.m. He was released a few hours later on $25,000 bail. Nikki Garcia and Artem Chigvenstev initially linked up on Dancing with the Stars in 2017 and began their relationship in 2019. They have been married since 2022 and have a 4-year-old son. Garcia has been staying at the family home since her husband's arrest, while Chigvenstev has been staying with a family friend. Garcia stopped wearing her wedding ring in the days after the arrest, including when she hosted the Chestnut vs. Kobayashi hot dog eating contest on Netflix. And finally, Matt Riddle thinks his chances of returning to WWE are extremely high. He believes he's not finished with the organization. Speaking of Sports Illustrated, Riddle stated he thinks the chances of him returning to WWE are extremely high. He said, quote, "The chances of me going back, I think they're extremely high. If CM Punk, who filed a lawsuit against WWE and then raked them through the mud for a decade, then goes to the competition, I'll tell you this, if he can do that, everything can be forgiven. I know I wasn't the easiest to work with at times. I think the door is always open. I think the longer I'm away, the harder I work, and the more I do, the more likely I could come back. But I'll also say this, if I never go back ever again, and they never talk to me again, I'll be okay with that," Riddle said. Now, Riddle previously spent 5 years in WWE from 2018 until his release in September of last year. Riddle revealed following his release that he failed multiple drug tests in the company for using cocaine. Riddle has regularly been booked since his WWE release, including a brief run with New Japan Pro Wrestling that saw him hold the New Japan World Television Championship for 49 days. He's a regular in Major League Wrestling and recently debuted in AAA, winning the AAA Cruiserweight Championship. But there you go, guys. The latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.